truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up. In the rapper world today.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Thank y'all for being with me. Amazing weekend. It is raining in LA right now. I feel like it's raining all over the world. A rainy night in LA. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. It's nice. We need the water. Anyway, you can get involved by calling 888-77-53773. 888-77 Jesse, Jesse, Jesse. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you can't sit and watch the show right now, of course you can podcast. But you're busy, you just can't sit and watch it. You're taking your kids off to the schools, public schools, to be punished and beat up and dumbed down because you don't want to stay home and raise them. You have no love for them. Or you're out working out or picking cotton or whatever, and you just can't sit and watch the show. You could be listening on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. Follow us on social media. Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram and on cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy. Amazing. Well, Christ is King. Christ is King. And the folks on Cozy, they're not afraid. And they white. They white. Not all of them white, but they're not afraid. But anyway, it's Monday. And some of the new listeners may not know, but we take all calls, but every Monday is Female Monday.
I like to make men uncomfortable.
All my life I had to fight.
Let women take over.
Some of us believe that women are getting paid less than men.
I proudly say I'm a feminist. Thank you.
Deep in their soul, they want to be home with those babies. We've been lied to for so long.
Amazing. Female Monday, 888-7753-773, 888-77 Jesse. So we have a brand new biblical question this week. Last week, biblical question we dealt with on Sunday, yesterday in the fellowship. So if you missed it, you can podcast by going to rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. We dealt with why you're afraid of negotiating. Why are you afraid of negotiating? And the reason I ask that question is because a lot of people are afraid of doing it, but what I realize is that even to myself, I realize that if you listen to thoughts and feelings while negotiating, the deal is not going to go the way that you would like it to go. Because the thoughts are still trying to control you, and it make you want whatever it is you're trying to negotiate. It causes you to think that you want it so badly that you'll do anything for it. But once you realize that you are not your thoughts are all lies all the time, and those are not your feelings, and you negotiate, but if it doesn't go your way, be willing to let it go. Want for nothing. Want for nothing. So this your theme for the fellowship is to want for nothing. Want for nothing. We have a brand new biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. It's a doozy. You know how adults are tied to their parents, especially the mama? And everywhere they go as adult, men and women, male and females, everywhere they go, mama is there. Somehow or another, they feel that they have to call their mama every day. Every day they have to visit mama, call mama, they're responsible for mama. And they let mama move in with them. And they hate the fact that mama lived there, but they have her come and stay, let her stay anyway. And if you try to move away from mama, let's say mama doesn't like West Hell. And she said all the time, I don't like West Hell. I would never live in West Hell. And so you grow up and you're like, wow, in order to get away from mama, I'm going to move to West Hell. And all of a sudden, as soon as mama find out that you're moving to West Hell, I like West Hell. West Hell seems like a nice place to live. All of a sudden, mama want to move to West Hell with you. Right? So the biblical question is for this week, what ties you to your parents? What ties you to your parents? You ever wonder that? Why can't I get away from my parents? I'm a grown man, grown woman. Why can't I get away from them? What ties you to them? That is an amazing question. It is such an amazing question. So I want to just say this. We had an amazing fellowship yesterday. But I want to remind every human being on this side of heaven, do what you want, because I realize most human beings are not going to want to come out of their hell. Most human beings love their misery. Really. They love it. They wallow in it. They live for it. So I do understand that. But there are a handful that wants to overcome their hell. They want perfect peace on earth, right? And those are the ones we're talking to. Those who want out. I want you to know, as an adult, male or female, as an adult, you and only you are responsible for your life. No one else. It doesn't matter your color, male or female, your age, your so-called status, which is fake anyway, your riches or your poorness, which both are setups. It doesn't matter. You And you alone are responsible for you. You can either live in your hell, take responsibility, and come out of your hell, or you cannot take responsibility and live in your hell. It's really up to you. And you don't owe anything to anyone for any reason. You don't owe them anything. You've been trained to be that way. From the moment you popped out of your mama's womb, they start training you either by their action or their words, and it went on and on and on as you grew up. And now you're living a life that is not your own. Not your own at all, not one iota of your own life. In order to find your own life, you must overcome the fake life, the life that brings you misery. And only you can do that. You got to work on you. Really. And the hardest thing in this world for most people to do, the hardest thing is to work on themselves. And the hardest thing for most people to do is to overcome the idea that you're responsible for someone else. Let's say that you meet someone and you say, hey, how are you? And they go, oh, Lord, I've been sick. I'm poor. I got this problem, this problem, and that problem. And they just lay it on you. You don't even owe them a response to it. Really. You don't have to say, I'm sorry to hear that, or do something to try to help them overcome it, or help them while they're in it, because you can't help them overcome it, right? You owe them zero response. That is on them and not you. But you've been trained to, you should be considerate. You should have compassion. You should this. It's all phony. It's all a lie. You cannot help the world be a better place. Really. You cannot help the world become a better place at all, one iota. You know why? Because you and only you are responsible for your world. You are not the world, you are your world. Take care of your world, everything will be fine. Believe me. And the children of the lie, the children of evil, the last thing they want is for you to be happy in your world, to be at peace. When they see that happening, they're going to go out of their way to try to stop it because they're so miserable in their world, but they love their misery. But I want you to remember, you and only you alone are responsible for you as an adult. And it's a lie that there's such thing as racism. That doesn't exist. It's a lie that there is such thing as white supremacism or sexism, homophobism, anti-Semitism, deadbeat-dadism. It's all a lie. It's just such a lie. It's an illusion, and it's a lie, and anyone that believes that are living in misery. Inwardly, they are living off thrills. And they work overtime to get the thrill, keep the thrill. If it means destroying you or their own children, they'll do it for the thrill. Isn't that amazing? Just think about that. It's not what you think, folks. Life is not what you think. You cannot think life at all. Every thought you have about life is wrong. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. For an example, there's this thing that men do, and it's called happy wife, happy life. You ever heard that? Happy wife, happy life. The next time you hear a man say that and a male say that, preachers got it bad too. The next time you hear a male say happy wife, happy life, they're telling you out loud that they are weak and pathetic and controlled by their wives. That's what they're saying. Read in the language. They're saying, I'm an unhappy, pathetic male who is being controlled by his wife. Beta, all capital, beta. But that's what they're telling you. Their wives control them. The order in life is God in Christ, Christ over man, man over woman, and woman over children. And the woman is leading the children because the man is leading her. If the man is not leading the children, the woman is destroying the children because they have broken away from the order. And ain't nothing going to work but the order. Nothing else going to work. You can believe the lie that comes from your parents or from the world or from thoughts. It ain't going to work. You and you alone is responsible for your life. It's up to you to let the world stop you, or it's up to you to overcome the world. When you work on you and start to overcome the world, can nothing stop you. No one. And believe me, the devil going to come out of the hellhole to try to stop you. Because the devil is jealous, envious, revengeful, afraid, lonely, and happy wife, happy life. The next time any man say to you or say out loud, happy wife, happy life, they're telling you that their wives are controlling them and they're miserable. They're scared, afraid not to smile. This is from the Greer.com. Here's a perfect example of that. Denzel Washington. You know who the black man is, an actor? Denzel Washington apparently believed in the happy wife, happy life. The actor revealed to People magazine his recipe for marital success after 35 years under his belt, and it's pretty simple. He's been married 35 years, right? And the success for it is under his belt. And it's pretty simple, he said. I do what I'm told. A grown male saying that he does what he is told. I do what I'm told. I keep my mouth shut. And because of that, he's been in hell for 35 years. And he called it marriage. Can you imagine the hatred that woman must have for him? For 35 years, he had not guided her out of her hell. He shut his mouth shut. He kept his mouth shut. And he has done what he has been told. And not the wife, but he has. And I want you to know, and you can take it to the bank. I want you to know, and you can take it to the bank. I want you to know, and you can take it to the welfare office, that weak men are detested. They are hated by women. Women, all women, hate weak men. Their nature is that of hatred anyway because Satan is the woman's God. But to have a weak man not to point the way out of the hell that she's already in, it just adds to the trouble, to the problem. He keeps his mouth shut, according to this report, and he does what he is told. What a miserable way to live. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman. What happened to that? Ain't nothing going to work when you reverse the role. I interviewed several males on my fatherstate.tv. I asked a question, and the wife can be sitting right there. Are you the head of your wife? Well, what do you mean by head? It all depends on what you mean. They start grumbling. Mumbling, grumbling. I remember the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama said of the Big Mama Michelle, she knows she's still the boss. She knows she's still the boss.
She knows she's still the boss.
See that? When did men start speaking this way and being this way? It wasn't like that when I was growing up. White Christians say things like that. I gotta ask the boss. That doesn't even look right. It look like when you look at it, even in your darkness, right, you look at the man saying that, and I'm sure it does. Most people think, wow. And though they would laugh about it, they're thinking, what a weak man. That doesn't look right. Don't tell nobody. Some of your personal business you're not supposed to put out there. And poor Steve Harvey, poor Steve Harvey. He got it bad. You think rainy days and Mondays get you down? It must be an awful way to live to put yourself beneath your woman. This is from Yiddio.com. Speaking of happy wife, happy life, the Happy Wife, Happy Life Hour on Steve Harvey focuses on women and their grievances about their men. Watch this from Steve Harvey's show.
Hi, Steve.
Oh, good. Hey, how you doing?
Good. Whenever my wife and I go out for dinner, when she's done with her salad, she starts nibbling on my plate. So it's getting kind of annoying of what should I do?
How long you been married?
20 years.
Yeah. You ain't figured it out yet, huh? Listen to me. They gonna eat off your plate till you leave this earth. My wife eat off my plate. You can't say nothing about that. You've heard the old saying, happy wife,
Happy life.
ta-da!
A happy wife is a happy life, so.
Happy wife, happy life. You ain't never lied about that.
That is sad. There's nothing funny about that. A weak man asking a weak man advice about happy wife, happy life. You tell her, no, don't eat off my plate. Just tell her no. As Nancy Reagan said, just say no. That's all you have to do, man. And they'll stop. And if you're in the cafe and they won't stop, say it loud. No, don't eat off my plate. Buy what you want. Don't eat off my plate. Happy life, happy wife. That is, I guarantee you, with all that is within me, that man that's saying that is not happy. And he can high-five Steve as much as he wants. Dealing with this woman is different. And look at the women sitting there loving it. Those are children of the devil. You are giving in to the devil rather than leading your wife out of the hell. And the women in the audience love it, and they hate it because they hate weak men. They detest weak men. The last thing a woman wants is a weak man. She'll take you, but that ain't what she want, right? She'll use you, but that ain't what she want or what she need. You and you alone, as an adult, is responsible for your life only. When you hear these people crying racism, they're lying. They have failed to be responsible for their own lives. They are living from without and not from within. Bad advice from Steve Harvey to that guy. And the bad advice continues. Watch this from Steve Harvey show.
My husband and I have been married for 32 years, and he makes me his number one priority. I make all the decisions, most of the decisions.
Okay.
What can I do to make him go ahead and make decisions, especially when it's something that he really, truly don't want to do, but he'll go ahead and go along with me just to appease me. So I want to know what he wants. Sometimes, not always.
He want what you want. Happy wife, happy life. Heard of that? That's why y'all been together 32 years. He done figured out what most young dudes, we stupid. No, I ain't doing all that. Dog, just let her do what she want to do. You'll be much happier that way. He let her do how she want to do.
But Steve, how do I find out what he really wants, other than...
No, he wants you to be happy. This man has done what every woman would love. He has taken his queen, put her on a pedestal. She is allowed to turn and bask in the sun and do whatever she want to do.
Yes.
How sad is that, right? He's allowed his wife to suffer. And because he's doing that, ain't no such thing as happy wife, happy life. That's a lie. That woman is not happy. And that man is not happy. I don't care how many years they've been together, stayed together. They've been suffering for all 35 years. And you go to the world for the answer, and the world lies to you, keep you in the hell that they are in. Poor thing, you can see that woman suffering. She needs her husband to be the head of her. She needs her husband or get out of the way so she can go to the Father on her own. How would things ever get better? Just imagine I don't know if that woman and that man have children. Just imagine how the children are suffering. Poor Steve Harvey. I don't know if he has children, but I guarantee you, if that's the kind of fatherly advice he's giving his children, and the children seeing him live that way, they're suffering too. The sins of the fathers passed down from generation to generation. Our battle is a spiritual battle. It's not physical. Only logical. Whatever you do, you got to know you. You got to focus on the not you from within. And your life will change. It will change. There is a greater consciousness than the unconsciousness. And right now you're living a life of unconsciousness and calling it consciousness. You're living a life of reading the Bible and calling it God, calling it belief, and it's not working. You are responsible for you. You can either stay in your head with all this mess, happy life, happy wife. That's a bald-faced lie. There's not one male or female on this earth that is living like that, that are living like that, and they're happy. They're lying. They have no peace. You either live the order or you don't. I gotta take a break. When I come back, your phone calls at SUPERCHATS. What a mess! You are responsible for you and no one else. You are your world, no one else. You don't owe one thing to anyone.
Michelle, the rock of the Obama family.
See you there? What a mess! Back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without. because he will show you how to deal with it, and you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. Female Monday. The Hake report coming up at 9, y'all. And James Hake, H-A-K, is on fire. And at 11 a.m. Pacific time, Hake is from 9 to 11 Pacific time. And then from 11 to 12 a.m. Pacific time, Joel Friday TV, he black. Joel Friday TV, he black. Joel Friday TV, he black. Well, I guess we ain't gonna see it up there today. And after Joel Friday, the American Anchor Baby. A day late and $1 short for Joel Friday TV. The American Anchor Baby. At 12 noon today, he has energy on loan from God. He's flying high off of natural energy, the American Anchor Baby. And don't forget to subscribe and follow the JLP Radio Network on YouTube and Instagram. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Rush, rush, rush. Run, run, run. Don't walk. Amazing. Let me go to the busy phones. Then we're going to get some super chats and more news items. Olivia is out of Maryland. Olivia, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm from Maine. I've called you before. It's just been a while. It's very refreshing to hear you and call in again. But I'm from Maine.
Oh, it says Maryland here.
I know. It's okay.
I'm sorry. Well, welcome, Olivia
right.
from Maine.
So this is so ironic that I don't always have a chance to call in because I have my son and we're busy in the morning and things like that, or I can't even listen that much anymore. But when I get a chance to stream, I couldn't believe I could talk to you because I got to hear you live today. And your biblical question, I literally answered this biblical question yesterday. Like, it's weird. I didn't know what the biblical question was.
What ties you to your parents?
What ties us to what ties me to my mom is the want for something. And what we're trying to do this year is want for nothing. So when I understand how to do that, when I'm able to do that, I'm not going to be tied to my mom anymore. I know that for a fact. But yeah, I answered the question yesterday without even knowing it was the question for today.
And what do you want from your mother at your age? What do you want from her?
Ooh, so that is so, it's complicated, but not really complicated. It's like, I could admit it, but I sound really shallow if I say it. Okay, well, I'm not working right now because I'm a stay-at-home mom and wife and homemaker. So sometimes I feel like I need her money, but I really don't. If I was honest with myself, I would rather not take money from her, because she always makes me feel guilty after giving me money. But yeah, it's that. It's a horrible, guilty.
So why
thing.
do you take it?
Oh my God. Yeah, I shouldn't. I don't want to. I'm
but
not
why
going
do
to.
you?
Because I'm not working right now, and I think
Did
for
you
some
say you
reason
were
it's helping
married?
my husband. Yes, my
Does
mom
your husband know you
convinces me that
take?
we're helping.
Does your husband know you take money from your mother?
He tells me not to. Yeah, he doesn't really. I mean, like he doesn't tell me what to do. Well, it kind of does, but it's.
So your husband know you
advice.
take money from your mother?
She kind of just puts it on there.
Your husband know that you take money
knows.
from your mother?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he tells you not to do it?
He said I shouldn't do it.
Does he tell you not to do it?
He said I shouldn't do it.
Does he tell you not to do it?
I think when he says I shouldn't do it, that means I not to do it.
Does he tell you not to do it?
Not really.
He just say you shouldn't do it?
No, he said you should not take money from that woman.
Why don't you obey him?
I do obey him.
Not if you're taking money from your mama.
There's not a way for me to give it back to her. Once she gives it to me, she kind of just slips it into my account.
Why can't you just give it back? There is a way to give it back.
I guess I can just, take it out and then send it back to her. You're right. I could do that.
Why does she have access to your account?
Ooh, it's because it was an account when I was a kid. So it's a linked account. I don't even use this account. I don't use that account that she puts money into.
Well, you must be using. You know that she put money into it.
She calls me and tells me. She calls me and tells me when she does it. I feel even more guilty now saying it out loud. This is horrible. That's not the point. The point is, once I figure out that I don't need her money, I will not be tied to her anymore.
But why haven't you married? Why haven't you already figured? Apparently your husband is taking care of you because you're able to stay home and raise his child. Why haven't? What do you need to do to figure that out?
I need to stop being so selfish and just probably stop talking to her, to be honest.
You don't love your husband?
I do love him.
No, you don't.
Oh, no. Why?
Why do you say you love him?
I love him because he does everything that we need him to do.
If you love your husband, you would obey your husband.
He didn't say don't take the money. He said I shouldn't take the money from her.
If you love your husband, you would. If you love your husband, you would obey your husband.
Oh, Jesse, you have a way of putting things. Yes, you're right. I do love my husband, and
if you love your husband, you would obey your husband.
I do obey him.
No, you don't. You're still taking money from your mama.
Okay, does it make any difference that I only did this after I stopped working? Does that make any change in
If
the
you
situation?
love your husband, you would stop taking money from your mama. The man that you're home, the man is providing. He's taking care of you and his child, and you still show him hate and not love.
Oh, no. How am I showing him hate? By taking money from my mom?
Yes. You're disobeying.
definitely don't want to do that.
Yes, you do. If you didn't want to do it, you wouldn't do it.
Mm.
What a mess.
Ooh, what a mess, Jesse. Ooh. See, here I thought I was like, oh, my gosh, I answered that question yesterday. I'm going to be so happy calling. I am still happy calling, but you always have a way of like, ooh, look at yourself, girl. Okay, I'm going to reflect on this. And Jesse, just this has nothing to do with the conversation, but I'm pregnant again. So we're having our second child, and I'm so excited.
Poor husband.
My poor husband is...
And poor baby.
No. What?
Why did you marry a man that you knew you would not obey? And it sounds like he's doing what he's supposed to do.
He does everything that he's supposed to do.
But,
I do
but
obey
yet, you don't love him enough to obey him. You love your mother, and it's not even real love with her, but you love your mother over your husband.
It's not real love with her, and it may not be real love with my husband. I'm not saying
it's not.
It's not. But this is the thing, though. It's only, I think it's because, like, this whole new pressure of the money.
You're making up excuses.
Oh, okay.
If you obeyed your husband, you would never have to worry about money.
Hmm.
What a mess.
What a mess.
Well, are you doing the silent prayer?
I got out of the silent prayer for a while, but yes, I'm back doing it again.
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
No.
Amazing. I really appreciate you, though, responding to the biblical question, Olivia. And I will put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. I want to hear from others about it.
Okay.
What a mess. Happy life, happy wife.
That's not true.
I know.
Wives are not happy.
What?
We're not happy people. Women are not happy people.
Because you won't overcome your hell. You love your hell more than you love peace. And you can't love perfect peace and hell. You either love your hell or you love perfect peace. You can't love both. Olivia, thank you. Call me again. It's good to hear from you.
Okay. You too. Okay. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Amazing. 888-7753. 773. Leo out of New Zealand. Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. Leo, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
All is well, sir. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I've called a couple times before, and, listening to you has changed my life, even down here in New Zealand, right?
Right on.
Which is great. I would ask if you remember me, but last time I asked that, you said black people can't remember stuff, so I won't bother.
Never ask a black man if he remembers.
I will not do that ever again.
Right on.
And I know today is Female Monday, and of course you can hear that I'm not a female.
No, I take all calls. We take all calls.
Yeah. But what I wanted to ask about is to do with females. So, there's a situation that has come up now that is making me seriously doubt my relationship. And basically, the other day I was out with my girlfriend after a long day, and I asked her if she could do something very, very simple, which was make me some food to eat. It was not a difficult thing to do. But she yelled and she complained, saying that she's not my mother and that I should just make my own food if it's so easy. And so, I had to do that. So, it's not quite up my alley. She's not obeying me. She even said that in the future when we have a family that I have to do my share of household chores like laundry and cooking. And I just don't see myself doing that, simply put. So, do you have any advice for how I go about from now on?
This is your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Dump her immediately and walk away. And don't look back.
Really?
She's telling you, I'm not going to obey you. I'm not going to be a good wife. I'm not going to be a good mother. She's telling you in advance. And if you stay with her or marry her, you're going to catch hell, and you deserve what you get because she's telling you she's not going to obey you.
I think there's a chance that I could change it, though.
That's what every fool thinks, that he can change. You cannot change another person. You can't even change your own life. How can you change someone else?
True.
So how can you change someone else when you can't change yourself? How can you change someone else?
That's very true. Well,
no, that was a question. That was a question. How can you change someone else when you can't change yourself?
You can't.
So where are you getting the idea you can change her?
Introducing her to other ideas.
Nope, it ain't going to work. You're not even changing with those ideas. There's the greater source is changing you because you're willing to let go of the false life and accept the real life. This woman is not willing to do that. I'm telling you, Leo, if you stay with her, it's pure hell. It's pure hell. Yeah. She's telling you in advance, I'm not going to obey you when we get together or get married. We're going to have to be split with everything. You're going to catch hell. She's telling you, I'm giving you hell. And
other people.
And Satan is telling you, oh, you can change her. Oh, no, that's a lie. What are you about to say? Other people? What?
I've asked other people for their opinion. Even her parents, and her parents are totally on her side. So it's a mess. He would say, "What a mess." But if I were to move on,
what did her parents say?
That I should do my fair share because it's a equal partnership.
No such thing.
No such thing. You don't think so? I agree, and I've tried to explain that.
The man is the head of the wife. And if you're the head of the wife cannot be equal partnership.
That's true, yeah. I've tried explaining that to other people. It's a pretty simple concept, but they don't understand. So
why are you bothering trying to explain it to anyone? Why don't you just dump this female and go live your life? And seek the kingdom of God and let God add a wife unto you if it's meant to be.
So how do I go about finding someone new who will obey and who will let me?
By not looking.
By not looking. Interesting.
Yes. You're supposed to only seek the kingdom of God and nothing else. Seek the kingdom of God along with nothing else.
If something comes along, do you have any tips for how to cultivate something healthy?
Never do any ifs. Have a wait and see. If you seek the kingdom of God and stay present with Him instead of looking back or looking forward, you would know.
That's very 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 thought provoking. Thanks for that. And one last quick thing.
Are you doing
earlier in this?
Go ahead.
Earlier in this today's show, you said that racism isn't a thing, homophobic, et cetera. All of that rubbish. But I'm sort of confused. Is feminism a thing? If you said that all isms don't exist,
no.
I'm not really sure about that one.
No, those are just angry, hating females who hate their fathers because their mothers have turned them away from their fathers, and they hate God.
So they don't actually exist? Or
no.
I'm sort of confused.
It doesn't exist. It's an illusion.
Interesting. Okay. That's very thought-provoking. I've never thought of it like that.
As you wake up, you will see the truth, but you got to stay working on you.
Yeah.
And all feminism and all the isms are just they're words used to cover up evil. It's just a term. It has no meaning. They're just words.
What about atheism? That doesn't exist either, or?
Everyone who lives in their thoughts, in their imagination, is an atheist.
Interesting.
They don't believe in God.
I've never heard that one before.
They don't believe in God. They believe in hell. They believe in evil. Anyone that has anger, anyone that has anger and fear is an atheist.
So true. And one last quick question. This is totally, totally unrelated. What is your favorite food?
My favorite food?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see.
You don't.
I like.
There's no food that makes
meatloaf, fried corn, hot biscuit with honey on it, and broccoli.
How about? Have you tried tofu?
Who?
Tofu.
Tofu?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's supposedly some vegan food, but my girlfriend that you've just told me to dump has tried to convert me because she's also trying to get me onto vegan food.
So you're gonna follow her?
Not anymore.
Were you even considering that?
Yes.
What?
I couldn't knock it. I couldn't knock it before I tried it. That's the thing. I was open to trying.
Right, and she's going to knock you because you are trying it.
That's true. Well, it's good that you've stopped me from doing that.
Let me ask us.
Actually, look.
What is it about you that will even consider stand with a female that says it's going to be equal? I'm not going to make you breakfast. We're going to split this down the middle. What is it about you that had kept you with this person rather than walking away?
I'm not sure. Now that you've asked me properly, I guess it was nice to spend time with someone that did listen to you sometimes. She's good looking. You've made me really, you've shattered my entire worldview pretty much today.
That's amazing.
Is it? Is that a good or a bad thing?
That's a bad thing. It's all about thrills. It makes your ego feel good to be around her. It makes your ego feel good to say she's pretty. It makes your ego, but all that is hate. That's not love.
Would you say that's kind of a beta moment?
It's 100% beta. Beta!
That's pretty humbling. I guess I am a beta. Yeah.
I would highly recommend you dump this female immediately and seek the kingdom of God. Don't look for it, because what's missing in your life, not a woman, what's missing is the love of a father. You need to return to the Father. You need to do the silent prayer. Don't look for that. Don't say, what if? Just live for now. There is no if. There's only now.
Thank you, Jesse. You're the wisest man.
Call me again, and do the silent prayer, all right?
Yep, bye.
Bye. I got to take a break. When I come back, more of your phone call and your super chats and more news items. Female Monday. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news. And I'll be back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature.
Follow crew member instructions in emergencies. It could save your life. And Trump versus the world, minus DeSantis. And Roe v. Wade didn't make it to age 51. R.I.P. Rest in peace. And there are storms blowing through. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Female Monday, January 22nd, AD 2024. There is one line open. You can call in right now during Hake News, not fake news. And JLP will be right back for hour two. Hang tight, callers, viewers, listeners. How those Japanese survived? They followed instructions. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, reports many travelers ignore airline safety videos before their flights. Hake doesn't. Even if they rely on humor or cameos from celebrities. But in the aftermath of the Japan Airlines crash, an airline in-flight safety video is being universally praised. Oh, come on. Nothing is universal. For helping to save hundreds of lives. In the event of an emergency, leave your belongings behind. Quote, if you take your bag, people can trip up and die, unquote. That's a 25-year veteran British male flight attendant, Chris with a K, Chris Major, who says, that's what he said, who says that Japan Airlines' video is really quite blunt about that. You take your bag, people might trip and they can die. It's Trump. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced yesterday, Sunday, that he is ending his 2024 White House campaign and endorsing our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. This leaves former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, Nimarata Nikki Haley, as the lone Trump alternative. She's no alternative in the GOP so-called race, but without much time to catch up to the frontrunner with a vast lead. There is just one day until the New Hampshire primary, tomorrow, I guess. And a new CNN poll shows Trump holds 50% support among the likely primary voters in the state, while Haley stands at 39%. DeSantis suspended his bid after a disappointing second-place finish in last week's Iowa Republican caucuses. He stood at just 6% in the New Hampshire poll, below the 10% minimum support he would need to win delegates there per Republican Party's rules. And Roe v. Wade, that obsolete decision, today marks the 51st anniversary, if you want to call it that, of the Roe v. Wade decision, according to Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, which granted Americans the federal constitutional right to an abortion. Sounds like fake news to me. In 2022, the Supreme Court overturned that, what they call a law. It's not a law. Courts do not make laws. Ruling abortion, so-called rights, should be determined by the states. The Biden administration, evil Biden administration, plans to hit the airwaves in battleground states this week. I think they've already started with their first abortion-focused ad of the year featuring stark, emotional testimony. That's all they have from a woman personally affected by a state abortion ban who lays the blame, this woman lays the blame directly on our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. What a dumb woman, huh? And a dumb, evil Biden campaign. The push marks the campaign's first organized effort to emphasize that issue, seeking to galvanize voters further around so-called reproductive rights, which should be the right for men to have their children, right? In the first presidential election after the Supreme Court's landmark decision. And storms are blowing through, winter storms after a weekend of frigid temperatures across the United States. Warmer air will bring a risk of ice and flooding for some states this week. Another crippling winter storm is set to hit portions of the plains in the south today. A series of winter storms this month have killed at least 82 people in 13 states. That's according to the Commie Nonsense Network. The death toll climbed on Sunday after emergency management agencies in Oregon, Mississippi, and Tennessee reported additional weather-related fatalities. Meteorologists say that the warmer air will bring the most immediate potential hazards to eastern Texas and parts of lower Mississippi Valley. 37 million threats of flash flooding and excessive rainfall in the region. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. Brand new biblical question for this week. And it's another doozy. What ties you to your parents? What ties you to your parents? It's amazing that grown men and women are still tied to their parents. Why? Why is that? We have every way to watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about and you just can't sit and watch the show live, you can podcast it, of course. But you can watch it, so you can podcast, but you still can be listening. No matter what you're doing, traveling, almost was in a near crash in the air. The door fell off the plane while you're riding on the plane. You still can be listening on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And follow us on social media. We're on Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Or JLP Talk on X. JLP Talk on X. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk or RebuildingTheMan.com. It's our Monday, and every Monday is Female Monday.
I like to make men uncomfortable.
All my life I had to fight.
Let women take over.
Some of us believe that women are getting paid less than men.
I proudly say I'm a feminist. Thank you.
Deep in their soul, they want to be home with those babies. We've been lied to for so long.
Amazing. That's the truth. So what I want to do, I got so many amazing stories that my producer Sean has given me. And the phones are smoking. We have super chats that I need to get to as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take another call, then super chats, and then calls, and then super chats, and then some of these news items. Let me go to Roy, a first-time caller out of New Jersey. Roy, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How you doing there?
All is well, sir.
Okay. Well, there's two things I wanted. I was trying to get you on the phone for a long time, but I'm glad I was able to get to you. But there's two things I want to clear up. One time I saw you on the show. I forgot the name of the show. You made a statement which kind of like made me shake my head here. You know, you said that America needs more white babies, and they don't need other nationalities because other nationalities destroy.
Well, that's on Phil Donahue? Not Phil Donahue, but what's that, Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil?
Yeah.
That was on Dr. Phil's show?
Yeah. That was the Dr. Phil show. That's right.
Right.
And you made a statement, which I think is kind of like the stupidest statement I've ever heard in my life.
Why?
You know,
why do you think that's stupid?
Because of the simple fact is that first of all white people didn't build this country. All nationalities built this country. It wasn't white people that built this country.
Why do you say all nationalities built it?
Because the Chinese built the railroad.
Who were they? Who were they working for at the time?
It doesn't matter who they was working for.
No, who were they working for at the time?
It doesn't matter who they was working for.
But who were they working for at the time?
It doesn't matter who they was working for.
Why can't you say who they were working for when they were building the railroad?
Is that the Chinese was building railroads over in their country way before they started.
No, I'm talking about over in America. I'm talking about America. Who hired them to build the railroads?
First of all, they didn't hire them. They used them as free labor.
Who did? Who used them as free labor?
You know, they didn't hire them.
Who used them? Hey, Roy. Who used them as free labor?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Why can't you say?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does matter.
You basically don't want to admit to the fact that all nationalities built this country. You don't want to admit it.
All nationalities did not build this country.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
So there you go lying, Jesse. You're supposed to be a reverend. Who
were they working for when they was building the country?
It doesn't matter who they was working
What does that mean? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
What does that mean? It doesn't matter.
I'll give you a perfect example. If I'm working for anybody, JP Morgan Chase, or anybody else, and I'm working at a job, and I go and program, which I am a programmer, which I go and program, and I create some type of application that will actually do trading better, you know, I mean, they don't say that JP Morgan created this application. What they say is this developer created this application.
Right, that worked for JP Morgan.
So it doesn't matter.
And so the Japanese that built the railroad were working for the white man.
No, I didn't say the Japanese. I said the Chinese.
The Chinese that built the railroad were working for the white man. So the white man was building the railroad, man.
No. Now that's one thing that I totally disagree with you on.
Why?
Because you're stupid.
No, but
nothing comes out.
That's not a reason to disagree.
When was the last time you've been back on Fox?
Why do you disagree with that?
Because of the simple fact is that white man didn't build this country.
Yes, they did.
They weren't the only ones that built this country.
They had people working for them. Roy, they had people working for them. I agree with that.
Yeah, but if you have people working for you, that means
they were hired. They had people working for them because they could not do all the work themselves. And so they hired some other people to work for them, but they were the overseers to make sure the work goes well.
Well, let me get back to my next point.
Is that true or not?
No, it's not true.
It is true.
No, it's not true.
Roy, why can't you admit that?
Because they use free labor.
Why can't you admit that?
Free labor and they forced slavery to build this country.
Did they feed the people?
How are you going to say? And all the wealth.
Did they feed the people?
Excuse me?
Did they house and feed the people?
They didn't house the people.
Did they house and feed the people? How you know they use free labor?
Because if you actually did your studies, then you don't.
How do you know they use free labor?
I'm about to explain to you. Did they pay the slaves for doing the work that they did?
I'm sorry?
Did they pay the slaves to do the work that they did?
Yes.
Did they pay them? No,
yes.
They didn't. How did they pay them?
With food and housing and things.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
Food and housing, you're full of crap.
You didn't see those little houses on the plantation?
You saw, let me tell you something.
Roy, did you see those houses on the plantation that the blacks lived in? Roy, calm down.
I'm not getting excited. I'm just
I asked you, did you see the houses that the blacks lived in? When they show the movie, don't they show the houses that the blacks live in?
Well, I'm going to answer that question. All your so-called great white hope that you so strongly worship.
Roy, you're not answering any question.
Whole houses.
Roy,
that's what your
Roy, don't curse. Don't be cursing.
Okay, I won't be cursing. I'm sorry about cursing.
Yeah, we have kids listening to the show.
Okay, I'm sorry, but the point of the matter is.
But you never didn't answer my question.
I'm answering your question.
Did you see the houses that the blacks lived in during quote unquote slavery?
Now, were they luxury houses or were they?
Roy, I gotta go. You're not answering any questions.
I said to you.
I'm trying hard. I know it's difficult, but I'm trying hard to communicate with you. And I ask, did you see the houses that the blacks lived in during slavery, quote unquote slavery?
I told you from the beginning, yes, but as using
and who provided those houses?
Your so-called, I'm using your so-called.
Who provided those houses?
Yes, I told you.
Who?
White people provided those houses.
And who paid the Chinese for building the railroad?
Excuse me?
Who were the overseers of the Chinese who built the railroad?
The overseers were the white men.
I rest my case, Roy. I told you white people built America.
Jesse, when you in court,
come on, man.
Totally stupid in court, Jesse. You look totally stupid in court. Now,
I look stupid in what?
If you go to court, you look totally stupid.
If I go to court,
when you was on.
What that mean if I go to court?
When you, I'm just trying to explain to you. You gonna give me a chance to explain?
You go, Roy, calm down. You going from one thing to another real fast.
Yeah, but like I said, you do.
Roy, calm down.
I am calm.
I'm gonna put you on hold. I'm not hanging up. Don't hang up. You need to catch your breath. Breathe. Breathe, Roy. I'm not hanging up on you. Just breathe. All right. Breathe. Remember Sean said to breathe? All right. Let's try it again, Roy. Hey, Roy?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Did you breathe?
Yeah, I did breathe.
All right.
I did breathe.
Okay, go ahead.
But when you was on Fox News and y'all was talking about the Walter Scott case.
The what?
You looked at you when you was talking about the Walter Scott case.
What's that?
What's that? You don't know the Walter Scott case?
No.
You know when you was talking about when that cop shot that black man 8 times in the back. When you was on Fox News.
Oh, the black man that was running from the cop.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you sat there. You was trying to justify what the police did was right. You was trying to justify. You know.
I wasn't trying to justify what the police did. I said we don't know. We were not there.
No, but the point of the matter is...
Roy, you keep saying something I didn't say, man. I said that we don't know. We were not there, and we need to wait and see the outcome.
You said... No.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, but you...
But then you just said I was trying to justify. I wasn't trying to... Why you say I was trying to justify? That's not true.
Because when you was talking about that subject, you switched to another subject. You didn't focus on what was the primary subject of that discussion. You switched to another subject.
Roy, I don't even remember all that way back then, but I do remember since you brought it up, is that I wasn't trying to justify. I said that we should not have a quick overreaction, but to wait and see. And just because the guy, quote unquote, was shot in the back, it doesn't mean it wasn't justified.
Yeah, okay. So now... You
remember that?
Yeah, right. I remember you said that.
So why do you say that rather than saying I said something else?
I said you was trying to justify.
No, I wasn't trying to justify anything. A wait-and-see attitude doesn't mean to justify.
Then why was you switching to another subject other than talking about the subject that was spoken?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
See, there you go. You're not intelligent. You're not really. You can't.
You got one thing right, Roy. I am not intelligent. I'm as dumb as doing nothing. I am black and slow.
Okay. One more thing.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, I already. Well, I would.
Do you agree with me that I'm black and slow?
Well, I wouldn't say you. I would say that yes, you are black and slow and you're stupid.
Right on.
I think yes.
Black and slow and stupid.
And
that's amazing.
I wanted to say one more thing. Now, another thing that you said was kind of like that really disturbed a lot of people, even some people that are on Fox News. They even wrote in and said, this is stupid comment. You made a statement saying one time that you can't wait to buy land so you could bring black people back to the plantation.
Right.
Amazing. Explain that.
Okay.
Explain that. I want you to explain that.
That's a good question, Roy. When I was growing up on the plantation, black people were independent people in that they didn't blame anyone for their situation. They overcame the situation. They had fathers and mothers and grandparents, and they worked. They taught their children to work and be independent. And they treated all people the way that they would like to be treated, with love and not hate. And as they bought land on those days, they had they were being building businesses and everything because they were independent people. And so what I want to do is buy a truckload of land so I can take the blacks, and not all, but most of the blacks back to the plantation so I can teach them to be independent people again, to be individuals and not be into their blackness. And I guarantee you they will live an amazing life.
Slaves?
I'm sorry?
Having them as slaves?
No, to teach them to teach them to work and think and be independent people, to think for themselves and not think as colored people, and not have leaders over them, only have God over them. The blacks used to be that way. So when I take them back to the plantation, I want to bring them to that reality or point them to that reality. Does that make sense?
No, I really
that
don't
doesn't make sense.
I think that the black
Roy, that doesn't make sense.
I think no, it doesn't make sense.
Roy, before you move forward, hey, hold on, slow down. Does that make sense that the blacks should be independent?
Of course, the blacks should be independent. I think.
And so then, when you think about my idea of taking them back to the plantation, or to the plantation, because they've never been on the plantation, but to the plantation so that they can be independent people again.
I don't think they should go to a plantation and do that. I think black people are independent right now. I think.
In what way are they independent right now?
I think most of them are. You got some blacks that are not independent. They belt for welfare. They do all of that. I would agree with that part. Some. But a large majority of black people right now are independent.
Where are they?
They're working. They have homes. They have jobs. They have money. They have all of that stuff. And it was way before your great white hope got into office.
My who?
Way before that. Your great white hope.
What do you mean by that?
Your great white hope. Because you always say that black people are working because of Trump. Black people got money because of Trump, which that is a lie.
So when those blacks that are saying that, are they lying when they say, hey, when Trump, the great white hope, Donald Trump was in office, I did much better financially, they say.
Yes, they're lying.
So when they say they're doing better, they're lying about their own life?
Yes, they're lying because the simple fact is they was.
Why would they lie about their own life, Roy?
And I'm explaining that to you. Because when you walk up to those same blacks, you would say, how long you worked on your job? Oh, I worked on my job for like around 25 years. How long you worked on your job? I worked on my job for 15 years. Well, how long you worked on your job? Oh, I worked on my job for like around 40 years.
You went and asked them that? Did you go and ask them that?
Yes, I did.
So you went and asked the black. What black did you ask that?
I went to ask the law. I did a study and I went.
No, you didn't, Roy.
Yeah, yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
And so Jesse, you're saying that black people wasn't working 15, 16, 20 years ago, 40 years ago. You're saying that they weren't working?
Some were, but not all. But some were, of course. Those independent blacks who were not into their blackness.
No. I mean, those independent black people will still call themselves black, but they're still independent. They call themselves black, but they still themselves independent.
No.
So, I mean,
Roy, I got to run, but amazing call.
Yeah,
Will you call me?
I got to run too.
Will you call me again, Roy?
Well, I'll call you again, but I just think that God needs to look at you and say to yourself, the man don't need to be rebuilt. I think you need to be rebuilt.
All right.
I think you got problems, and I think you.
Thank you, Roy. I appreciate it, buddy. All right. Amazing. Bye. Super Chat. There's a line open. 888-77-53773.
On buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, which is not actual coffees, it's super chats, guys. Valerie bought one and saying, Women's Forum was amazing.
It really was. Last week we had our first Women's Forum for the year, and the first Thursday night we had the Men's Forum for the year, and they both was amazing. Seeking Souls, they're putting what's first. Amazing. Thank you.
Nangiti bought a coffee. Hi, Jesse. I saw in my silent prayer that anger is holding on to a thought.
Anger, yes. If you let thoughts go, there's no such thing as anger. It'll disappear. Absolutely. Thank you.
Marcus bought a coffee. All white people need to see Planet of the Apes. Let's not let that happen to America. It's so sad. And I'm black. LOL.
Nice. He black. Thank you.
Charles bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, I took my car to a tire shop with all black employees. A couple of days later, I discovered that one of the screws from my front tire was missing. Stop hiring the blacks.
What's wrong with the blacks?
Both you and Charles called it a screw, and it probably is a bolt. You said they left a screw off or loose on the plug door on the airplane?
Yes.
It's a bolt.
What's the difference between a bolt and a screw?
I don't know.
One white, one black. But it's still the same.
Let me move on. Nangiti bought a coffee. I also realized while on a date recently, a repeating cycle, a broken record, or as you say, a boomerang of dating men that did not have fathers growing up.
Yeah.
Who did not have fathers, actually. Now that I understand what it means to be a woman, and I absolutely love it. I will be honest without imposing, but I do see this energy wanting to fight with the mother spirit in them. I'm learning to observe it and remain present. And for the first time, I'm learning what patience is.
Right on. All you need to do is observe it. All you need to do is to see the not you. You're not the jealousy. You're not the envy. You're not the strife. You're not the fear. You're not the anger. You're not the shyness. You're not the emotionness. You're not the thoughts. And all you need to do is just see that. And seeing it will destroy it. Do nothing else but see it within yourself. It's going to be amazing. I'm telling you, you just need to see it. And that's what it means to confess to God, right? It's seeing it. You don't have to say it out loud, but just see it. Amazing. Stay with it. Thank you.
Elias bought a coffee. Jesse, a woman flying a plane is like giving a monkey a gun. Very dangerous. What's wrong with the blacks?
You can say that again. What the? Amazing. Thank you.
Several diamonds from Stan69. This is from Friday. Whites in the U.S. trust illegal aliens over blacks. Blacks, not trustworthy. Illegal aliens work harder, he says. Why must all manual labor be done by foreigners? Why must all housekeepers be illegal alien women? Why is teaching kids to work a bad idea in the U.S.?
Break it down for me.
He's saying right now a lot of people trust the illegals to work for them rather than the blacks. And so why is all the manual labor done by foreigners now, including housekeeping? And teaching kids to work is supposedly a bad idea in the United States. Why?
Well, I don't know if I would trust the illegal aliens as housekeepers now because they're lazy and they steal. And they want the kids to be lazy in America so they can control them. They'll offer them welfare later in life and government programs so they can control. It's all about self. All angry people only think about themselves. And so that's what it's about now. It's about self. Amazing.
Shout out to the top contributors from Friday, Stan69, Maverick, something, Misty, taking care of business, and the rest of the guys and gals. Thanks for the support on Friday.
Thank you.
Matthew bought 10 coffees. Thank you. He says, I realized this week that overcoming your suffering and the ego death is not only about you, but for others. Everything is not about me. Thanks, and wish a great year for the Bond Group.
Well, overcoming the ego is about you, no one else but you. That's your world, that you're overcoming that within your world. It's about no one else but you, right? And then, without thinking about it or trying to be, you will become the light of the world, but that's still not you. It's all about you. It's all inside of you. You're not responsible for anyone else as an adult. All adults are responsible for themselves. And once you realize that, you're going to stop blaming anyone for whatever happens in your life. Because the thing that happens in your life is because you want them to happen. You draw them unto you. So you're only responsible for you as an adult. Thank you.
Scotty Pip 217 bought 3 coffees. Finally watched Uncle Tom 2. You did an absolutely amazing job.
Uncle Tom 2 was amazing. Check it out.
This documentary should be a mandatory to watch for all Americans, young and old. 100, 100. Strong black arm emoji. 3 black clapping hands emojis. Wishing you well all the way from Joliet, Illinois. Be safe and stay blessed. Heart emoji.
Right on. Thank you. If I was the president, I'd get a big worldwide TV screen, and it would be like the sun, right? And I'll have it playing on there so the world can see it.
Nice.
Uncle Tom 2. Amazing. It was deep. It was produced. One of the producers was Larry Elder. I had Larry on the Fallen State last week, the fallenstate.tv. Larry Elder, check it out. Amazing. Thank you.
Evgeny Crosby gave a dime in Church with J.C. Lee Peterson in one word, amazing.
It really, really was. If you missed fellowship yesterday, go to rebuildingtheman.com/church. It was mind-blowing. It was deep. Thank you.
Not a Victim bought 3 coffees. Say, Jesse, is masculinity about positive thinking? Do you do any positive thinking, or do you smoke pot? Peace.
There's no such thing as positive thinking or negative thinking. They're both imposters. So no, it's not about that at all. Thank you. And no, I don't smoke pot. You got a joint?
Someone bought a coffee. Jesse, are our spirits connected to the place we grew up in, the time period we grew up in?
I'm sweating like Nick.
I know, like a dog.
I'm sweating like the anchor baby.
I did notice it's warm in here.
It is.
Sometimes.
Well, what was it?
Are our spirits connected to the place we grew up and the time period we grew up in? Sometimes when I reflect on the past or run into an old friend, I feel like we have a strong connection that no one else who was not there could understand. Is this all in my head, or is there some truth to it? Just curious.
It's a good question, but I don't understand it, so it may be in your head. Maybe. I don't know. Let me put it that way. I don't know, but thank you.
I know the feeling, and I can't express it any better than you did, Mr. Someone with your coffee. And I don't know the answer either.
Yeah.
White Lion NYC bought 3 coffees, replying to Gen C, who asked if his name was after some band called White Lion. Nope, not familiar with the band. My nickname was Gringo, which means a white man or foreigner or whatever, because I had blue eyes, blonde hair as a kid. I was born late July, half Cancer, half Leo, which is something. So my nickname and sign I made my artist name, half water, half fire. The world was flooded. The world will burn.
That's to you?
No, that's to Gen Z. He's passing notes in class through 3 coffees. Thanks for the coffees.
Thank you. I understand about thanks.
I don't know if it was a message for us.
It wasn't.
Not a Victim bought a coffee. Jeverind Ressi. Why do I have a hard time to accept Jesus and you, his follower, when I know it's what's right? Do you have any tips on being honest with oneself?
You accept Jesus by not trying to accept him. And it shall happen on its own.
And we'll read the rest of your Super Chats later.
I gotta take a quick break. Back in a moment. Thank you. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. For personal shout-outs, anniversary shout-out, congratulations shout-outs, wedding shout-outs, birthday shout-outs, go to Cameo. I will do them for you myself. Cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And amazing merch. Check out our merch at rebuildingaman.com/store. Rebuildingaman.com/store. And we also do counseling by phone, Skype, or walk-in. Family, individual, whatever. Counseling service. I do it. Counseling is amazing. Go to rebuildingaman.com to make an appointment. Rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-BOND. 800-411-2663. We got a lot of work to do, so don't forget to support us financially. And thank you, y'all who are supporting to help us to help others as you've been helped. Thank you. Let me go to Oliver, a first-time caller out of New York. Oliver, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you. Thank you. How you doing, Jesse?
All is well, sir. Thank you for calling.
That's good. You're welcome. I'd like to answer the question, what ties you to...
What ties you to your parents?
So, for me, personally, I think it's spirituality.
What do you mean by that?
All right. So, I recently gave my life to God. Right, it's been about 5 months now.
And how did you do that?
I went through some traumatic moments, and right on there, I decided I was trying to do everything on my own, and then I realized that I'm putting everything on myself, but myself doesn't even belong to me, so I need to give it back to the Maker. So, who's my creator? God. And I realized that me letting myself go, my thoughts, my mind, my soul, everything, and I just let it it was kind of like jumping off of a building.
Amazing.
Giving it.
And so,
giving it to God.
and how are you tied to your parents spiritually?
So spiritually, I seen. All right. So after I said that because I want to get to this point where after I gave myself to God, a lot of things been happening spiritually because I pray a lot now, and I think that's the right way to do it. Communicate with God and through Jesus Christ.
And how do you pray?
How do I pray? I pray, Our Father who art in heaven. I follow that direction because that's how Jesus taught us to pray. I read my Bible. And
that's the only prayer you do?
No. So, Our Father who art in heaven, those are steps on how to pray to God.
And so is that the only prayer you just do, the Lord's Prayer?
No, that's not the only prayer I do. I do personal prayers. I give myself to God.
What's a personal prayer?
A personal prayer is something, let's say, if you having thoughts, if thoughts of anxiety come into your head, you tell yourself, hey, this is not me. God, take it away from me. So everything that comes to me, I just go to God and give it to him.
Amazing. And so how are you tied to your parents then?
I'm saying spirituality because, somebody, have you heard of generational curses?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Okay. So, for example, let's say my father was a rich man, or you know what? Let me not use that as an example. God forbid. Let's say my father was a good man, but he's a good man. Let's say he used to be a drinker or drunkard, and it's something he couldn't get over. So with me, as I get older, I'm also seeing that I'm also becoming a drunk, right? I'm not saying that's what I am or I was, but I'm just using it as an example. So with that, it's kind of like generation. It's a spiritual curse that was using on the father, right? So everything that happens in the physical realm, it happens spiritually. I believe that the spiritual realm is much more realer than. I don't even think this is a reality right now that we talk, and I think that.
So how are you connected to your parents spiritually?
I'm connected to my parents spiritually because of the things that happen. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, the drinking thing. You see yourself becoming a drunk because your father was a drunk. It's a spiritual curse. It's from Adam, basically.
But you're not. You don't become a drunk just because your father was a drunk.
Okay, so from Adam, right? Ever since Eve said, ever since Eve never listened to Adam, right? Because God gave the instructions to Adam, Eve wasn't there, right? So because Adam and Eve are all our grandparents, right? So
they're your grandparents.
They are our grandparents.
So you that old? What the? Why you say they're your grandparents?
Well, it started from Adam and Eve.
Where you get that idea that they're your grandparents, though?
Well, I shouldn't say grandparents. They're the first. God created them first, and then we came out of them. Right? Do you believe that?
That you came out of Adam and Eve?
We are descendants of Adam and Eve.
How's that?
God created God created Adam, the first man. And he got Eve out of Adam, okay, from his rib. So that ever since that day, when God gave instructions to Adam to not touch that tree, Eve wasn't there. Eve wasn't made yet. I'm not even going to say Eve wasn't created yet when God gave instructions to Adam.
But how are they your grandparents, though?
We all come from, I believe, well, I might be wrong, but I believe we are all descendants of Adam and Eve.
Where did you get the idea that they're your grandparents?
From the Bible.
The Bible said they're your grandparents?
The Bible didn't, specifically say that, they should grandparents or anything, but I'm just saying.
So where did you get the idea that they're your grandparents? And I'm not saying that they're not your grandparents. I'm just wanting to know where did you get that from? I
believe when I got that from, well, I guess it's my own idea, but that's from the Bible.
So you made that up in your own head?
Yes, I think, okay, so if that's, now that you put it that way, I might have made up my own head, but I believe.
And why would you make that up in your head? What was the purpose of making that up?
Ever since the purpose was, I was trying to figure out what was wrong. Why is the world going where it's going, right? That's what I was trying to figure out. And because the world is it's not. One thing I would say about you tell the truth. But because we're living in a lie in this world, people think that you're being everything you say, because it goes against what they think now. They think that you're being, rude or mean, because it doesn't go with how they live. So
let me do this because of time. I got so many calls and super chats and stuff I want to get to. But let me ask, why did you say to yourself that they were your grandparents?
Well, the grandparents thing, I'm just saying they're our descendants. How's that? I say that because ever since God cursed the woman, right? It sounds like, Jesus did come and try to reconcile us.
But God didn't curse the woman. The woman was cursed by her God, Satan, when she listened to him.
I'm sorry, say that again?
God didn't curse the woman. The woman was cursed by her God, the devil.
Sorry, yes, you're right.
When she believed the devil. But because of time, how you connected, the question is, what ties you to your parents? And you said spiritually. Tell me quickly about that.
I'm tied to my parents spiritually because your mom could die, right? Your mom or your father could die, and certain things or certain traits that they were doing, you still have those traits. You just need prayer and fasting to break that. It's kind of like if it's a negative, it's a bad thing. It's kind of like a curse. You have to do that to break it. So I believe we are connected to our parents spiritually. Even if they're not here, you could still be connected to them. You could still be connected to them even if they're not here or even if they're dead.
So what ties you to your parents? You're saying that you are tied to your parents.
Blood
spiritually,
is also one.
I'm sorry?
I said blood is also one, but it's blood and spirituality.
Are your parents still living?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I really appreciate it. Very interesting, Oliver, and I do appreciate you responding. I want to respond to that, and I'm tempted to respond.
I want to know when are you going to respond to that?
Sunday at the Fellowship. You ever watch the Fellowship?
I actually want to show up. I would like to come. Is there any address?
To the Fellowship?
Yes.
Go to rebuildingtheman.com. The address is there. All the information is on the website.
Rebuildingtheman.com. Okay.
All right.
Well, originally I'm African, so I
black?
agree with most. I'm African.
You like a black African or a white African?
No, I'm a black African.
Oh, I thought you were white. You sound white.
I know. I talk proper.
Right on.
It was amazing talking to you, man.
You too, buddy. And I want to respond to what you said, but I gotta hold it. And but
I will bring it up once I show up there. I will bring it up because I know there's not enough time.
Right.
Can I bring this up real quick? Just 1 second, right?
Yes.
A lot of things that goes on with us, especially the black community, right? A lot of things that's going on. It's all spiritual things. It's like the lack of family, fathers in the life, mothers are raising most of the men, so they grow up being messed up.
Yeah.
And all these things, I think, is spiritual. It's a spiritual tie that's going on. So
100%, man. 100%.
Yes. So that's why I said it's spiritual. But I would like to get your answer when I come out there. Don't forget, my name is Oliver, the African guy. So when I get there, I will mention it.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
Amazing. Let me go to Mark. Mark, our first time call out of M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, humpback, I. That's how you spell Mississippi. Mark, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Am I really? Okay, well, first-time caller, as you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I've been talking to a friend of mine. We often talk about white nationalism. He's a white nationalist. Well, I use that term simply to describe the situation. And I just kind of wanted to get your perspective on how do you feel about the white nationalist movement and, you know, having a white ethno-state.
What is a white nationalist?
Yeah, good question. It was someone that believes that there should be separate races between whites and black.
Separate races?
Well, meaning, yeah, to separate our race based on our genetic characteristic of being white versus being black.
Like live separate from each other?
Yeah.
Oh, there are black people who believe that more so than white people today. When you listen to the news and talk about the university of blacks want black dormitories, they don't want white people in their quote-unquote space. They don't want white people to wear braids and all kind of stuff. So it runs both sides, and I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay, I thought you probably wouldn't, but I just wanted to confirm that particular...
Is it supposed to be a negative thing?
No, I actually, I agree. I don't think we should treat someone that wants to have, to create a pure race, quote unquote, as a negative thing, right? But it is. I mean, white nationalists are considered bad people.
Why?
Right. Whereas, why?
Yeah.
Well, it's just the norm. They just don't think white people should have their own ethno identity.
Do they feel that way about the blacks who want the same thing?
Well, I can't really speak for them.
Why not?
Well, I mean, I can, but I could be wrong. I mean, do people feel that? No, I don't think so. I think it's a double standard for sure.
What's wrong with the whites that they are afraid to speak up about that and say no to it? Why don't they just say no?
Well, I think the problem is because it's we have a cancel culture and people haven't learned to stand up for it. They feel guilty for being successful.
But why?
They want because they want other people to be successful.
Why?
And because we like people.
Why do you want someone else to be successful?
So, because then I don't have to worry about them. I know they can take care of themselves.
Why do you worry about someone else?
Because we live in a community, and at some point we have to care about other people.
Who told you that?
I told myself that.
Why?
Because I look at a community and I say, I want to get along with the community. I want to be safe. I want other people to feel safe so they don't feel like they have to attack me.
But most people, 99.9%, not all, but most people don't want that for themselves. Why do you bother to want that for them?
Well, I mean, I can't get it for them if they don't want it.
I said, why do you bother to want that for them when most people do not want it for themselves? Does God bother to want that for them when they don't want it for themselves?
Doesn't he? Doesn't he want what's best for everyone?
No.
Why is that?
Because you have to want what's best for you as an individual, and then your life will work. You can't want that for someone else. They don't want it for themselves.
Fair enough.
So why do you want that for others that don't even want it for themselves? Who are you that you should put yourself in their place?
It's just a matter of being social.
Why? How is that social?
Well, yeah. Good point.
No, that was a question.
Well, how is it being social? It's interacting with someone to say, it's not just about me, it's also about what you want.
If you want something else for someone else, it is about you. It's not about them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And that's why I said that's a good point, because it is your business. Anything you do, any action you take is about you.
Everything, that's right. And you pretend that it's about someone else, and it's not.
Right. I agree with that. So, yeah.
I thought nationalism, and I could be wrong, black and slow, right? But I thought nationalism is when we love our country. We put America first. Is that nationalism?
Yeah, that's nationalism, right? White nationalists love their country.
So am I a black nationalist because I put my country first?
You would be a black nationalist, I guess.
So I must be a black nationalist because I put, after God, I put America first.
Right. Now, do you put America first? I mean, I'm assuming you, but I mean, that's what you want. Do you want America first?
Meaning that I put my country over any other country. I put my country first. I put my house before I put someone else's house.
Right. Yeah.
So am I a black nationalist?
Well, I would call you a black American.
And that,
whatever that,
but not a black nationalist?
Well, maybe.
But I want to be a black nationalist.
Okay, you're a black nationalist. I believe in self-identifying. Go ahead.
You love the Jews?
Do I love the Jews?
Do you love the Jews?
Do I have to?
Do you love the Jews?
I don't like that question, actually.
You don't like that question? Why? Why not?
I don't. I don't. Well, actually, I'm going through some identity crisis on the Jewish people. There's a lot of Jewish people I like and admire.
Are you a Christian?
Yes.
And do you love the Jews?
I love all people in the same way.
Do you love the Jews?
Yes.
You love
Fine.
the Jews?
Yes, fine.
Do you love the Jews?
Where are you going with this, Jesse?
Do you love the Jews?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Do you love the Jews?
Yes.
Do you love the Jews? I got to run. I got to take a break. Call me again. Back in a moment. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. Freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing.
An update on the Israel-Palestine war drama, if you care to hear it, or if you don't. And commie capitalists are forcing boomer CEOs out at 72. The Germans are fighting over whether to deport their illegals and their foreign so-called citizens. And they want to root out racism from FIFA. And by the way, India got a new Hindu temple, and the Muslims feel left out. This Commie Nonsense Network is feeling sorry for them. This is the end of hour 2 already of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Monday, Female Monday, the 22nd of January, AD 2024. The lines are full, guys, and JLP will be right back to your calls. But first, Hake news, not fake news. The hostages. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports pressure mounting on Israeli Prime Minister based Bibi Netanyahu. I use the term loosely at times, but I like him. To strike a deal with Hamas to secure the release of more than 100 hostages believed alive in Gaza. Netanyahu, however, reiterated on Sunday that he outright rejects the terms of surrender of the monsters of Hamas and will maintain Israel's ground offensive. On Saturday, Netanyahu also rejected calls for Palestinian sovereignty following talks with so-called President Crooked Joe Biden on the post-war Gaza. This comes as the death toll in the enclave has surpassed 25,000 people since the October 7th attacks. This is the retaliation, right? According to the Hamas-controlled health ministry. Anti-older people rules age 72 is the mandatory retirement age for board members at most S&P 500 companies. The 500 largest companies in the stock market, that's the S&P 500. While a retirement policy is more of an exception than a rule in corporate America, 69% of these companies have such policies to diversify their ranks. What a bogus speech. Retirement policies don't exist for lawmakers or surgeons or many other jobs, but they are common in so-called public safety occupations. That's from CNN. Keep the illegals and foreign citizens in Germany. Quote, the plans to expel millions of people are reminiscent of the darkest chapter in German history. That's a German politician, so-called Christian, is his first name. You do the math. D-U with the 2 dots over it, R-R. Condemning Germany's so-called far right, which probably means centrist, alternative for Germany, AfD, Deutschland. Party, that's their party, right? He's condemning them over its deportation master plan. Tens of thousands of Germans are protesting for the second week, following reports that senior members of the AfD have discussed a plan for the mass deportation of German so-called asylum seekers. That means they're illegals pretending like they're refugees. And German citizens, too. German citizens, which probably means the foreigners who became so-called citizens. Or anchor babies, maybe? I wonder if Germany has an anchor baby policy. Many have pointed out that the plan is evocative of the Nazi era from 1933 to 1945, when millions, as Trump just sort of pronounces it, were transported against their will to concentration, forced labor, and extermination camps. Soccer, another polluted pro sport. What FIFA wants to stop? Racism. The far-left female-run outlet The Skim reports over the weekend, FIFA president, that's the Global Homo Soccer, pro soccer thing, Gianni Infantino, he called for teams to automatically forfeit a game if their fans commit racist acts toward the opposing team. For years, soccer teams have struggled with how best to address racism. After losing the Euro 2020 finals, 3 black players on England's team faced racist attacks on the internet. The horror. In 2022, someone threw a banana at a Brazilian soccer player, Richarlison, as he celebrated a goal. I'm laughing. He should probably laugh too. Just this weekend, AC Milan's goalkeeper Mike Maignan said he walked off the pitch after hearing monkey noises from the crowd. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
wrong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're busy and can't sit and watch the show right now, you can podcast, but you can also be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line number on TalkStream Live at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow on social media. JLP Talk on X and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. To donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, and Rebuilding the Man or rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. Brand new biblical question for this week. Brand new biblical question this week. What ties you to your parents? What ties you, T-I-E-S, what ties you to your parents? Isn't that an amazing question? That's an amazing question, Jesse. It's Monday, and every Monday is...
We've got a pretty...
Female Monday. Female Monday. What's up?
I like to make men uncomfortable.
All my life I had to fight.
Let women take over.
Some of us believe that women are getting paid less than men.
I proudly say I'm a feminist. Thank you.
Deep in their soul, they want to be home with those babies. We've been lied to for so long.
What the? Amazing. Let me go to show you on the air.
How you doing, Brother Jesse?
All is well.
I just wanted to say to you, for a while, it was some things I didn't agree with you about, and it was a lot of things that I did. But I just wanted to tell you, now I see you were absolutely right about a lot of things. But I still try to get some understanding about why, because you used to make a lot of comments about black women, being evil, so forth and so on. Okay, I'm going to tell you a very, very short story.
Are you black?
I work, yeah, black women. So,
are you
I work
black?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yes,
I'm African.
okay.
I'm black.
She black.
Okay, so, yes, sir. I work in a building, right? And it's a very, very easy, smooth place to work at, right? Very easy. People are polite. Everything. And, Mr. Jesse, only the black women find something to complain about.
Yeah.
Everybody else just ride the wave. You know, I notice when black men are in, and I'm not saying, you know, everybody don't have some things within themselves that, you know, they don't need to work out. But I notice when black men are in an easy situation, right, or have it, you know, fairly easy, they will pretty much ride the wave. But our black women will find something to complain about. And I do not understand why. And Mr. Jesse, when I noticed that, I instantly thought about, you know, you when you would say certain things for as black women. But I don't understand why. It seems like it's only us that are like that. It's like we stick out like a sore thumb.
Well, the reason it's like that for all black women until they return to the Father is that they have been turned away from their earthly fathers by their mothers and or grandmothers. And so they are inwardly, they are evil. They are very unhappy. They have fear. They worry. They doubt. And they have become just like their mothers. And so the men in the black of their families and things have not corrected the black woman. She's been put on a pedestal, and up on that pedestal, she's miserable because it's not solving the spiritual issues that she's having, and that is she's yearning for a father. She's yearning to return to the Father by taking responsibility for herself and seeing within that she's angry, that she resents her mother, that she's become like her mother, and forgive. She got to go and forgive her mother for turning her away from her father, and forgive her father for not protecting her from the mother. And once she does that, God will forgive her, and everything will start to change.
And, sir, another thing I've noticed, right, this is the truth. A lot of our black children do a whole lot better when they are in diverse environments.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, they do a lot better. It seems like they act up when they're in a predominantly black environment. But when they are in a diverse environment, they act better. And when black people, and this is what I don't understand, when they work in a diverse environment, if it's predominantly white or if it's, you know, mixed with whatever race, they don't see it maybe, but I could tell they're more at ease. You understand what I'm saying?
I do. Absolutely.
So I just don't get it. I'm understanding from what you just explained it to me. But Mr. Jesse, truthfully, it kind of hurt me a little bit when I discovered that.
And why were you hurt instead of being glad to see it?
Because it was only us. That's why.
Us who?
You know, it was nothing against nobody else. I had to accept the fact that,
But when you say it's us, when you say it's, repeat that, I'm sorry.
Black women.
But you're not all black women. You're not every woman.
Sir, and Mr. Jesse, you know, it was still hurtful to see it, though.
Why?
I mean, it just to see that and to see how ungrateful a lot of us can be. You mean to tell me you have it easy, you have it super sweet, and you still find something to complain about?
But you are making a mistake by identifying with them. You are not them. You're not in their hell. They love their hell. That's why they don't work on overcoming their hell. Why would you identify and feel anything? Does it seem that God care about them being in their hell?
I think he wants them to get out of it if they want that for themselves.
Only for those who want.
Can I share something else with you, sir?
Let me just say, only for those who want to come out of their hell, he's made the way. But if you don't want to come out of your hell, he's quite okay with you staying there. He's not feeling anything about it. He doesn't care about it because he realized you love your hell, so he'll leave you in your hell.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say this though, right? I am a person. I'm not talking about this craziness that go on, you know, within the culture, but I like you know, black culture and things like that. I like that type stuff. But what stops me from really getting into that is the way I see a lot of our people, particularly the women, more so. Like when I see how our people behave, like, you know. I can name on one hand, I've been working for least 20-something years, you know. And I can name on one hand how many times I had a problem with anybody white. And I'll probably still have a finger or two left.
Yep.
And
That's
afterwards, for the most part, if they were wrong, they would come back and apologize.
That's right. Why do you call them, the blacks, your people?
Well, we are all people. I mean, anybody's my people.
But why,
you know what I mean?
Why do you call the blacks your people?
I guess because that's how I was, like, brought up.
I would encourage
and another
you
thing
today,
I noticed,
go ahead.
Mr. Jesse, it's like a lot of us are in denial because we got to, you know, come to realize and admit it's not white people.
Right. But listen.
It's not white people at all. And just say, for example, not to go all into that because I know it's a whole nother show. Say, good brother Donald Trump. I call him my uncle, right? Donald Trump. Do you know how many black people, black celebrities, everybody was partying with Donald Trump? I have a book where this black man, he's mentioning his name. He used to be in rap videos. You know, then when he ran,
You're right about that. Blacks love Donald Trump.
When he ran for president, how a lot of our people went against him, but a lot of black people also agreed with Donald Trump in private. You know what I mean? They just didn't do it in public. But last thing, Mr. Jesse, now they're starting to see that Donald Trump was telling the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. But Maya, one thing I want to encourage you not to do what you want, of course.
Yeah.
But from this day forward, don't say our people. Stop identifying with them. They're not you, and you're not them. You're independent. You need to become an independent person and just work on overcoming the hell that's inside of you and drop all identities. You don't want to identify with anyone or anything. All right? And being black is not something you should be proud of or not be proud of because it's just a color of a material. It's not you at all. So stop calling them our people you identify with evil.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's sad, you know, it's sad. But Mr. Jesse, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for hearing me out, and thank you for that advice, sir. And like I said, I just wanted to tell you, I didn't agree with you at first because I had to see it for myself. And
that's right.
Said, Jesse was right.
Yeah, you got to see it for yourself. Absolutely, amazing call. Call me again.
Yes, sir. Have a blessed day.
Okay, amazing. And she is right. You got to see it for yourself. Not just because I or anyone else said it. And once you see it for yourself, you become a free person. 888-7753-773. Sean is out of Illinois. Sean, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Hey, Sean. First time caller out of Illinois. Been waiting a while. I'm going to put Sean back on hold just in case he's on mute. Mario is her first time caller out of Florida. Mario, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Asombro. Amazing.
Amazing.
Jesse.
Amazing.
Jesse, I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida. Criado, nacido en Miami, Florida. I was the only white, el único blanco, from nursery, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. Desde nursery, primaria, primer grado, segundo grado, tercer grado, cuarto grado, quinto grado. The only white, el único blanco. And what even is racism? Like, what even is that? ¿Qué es lo que es racismo? ¿Qué es lo que es eso? Never seen it before. Nunca lo he visto. So, I love your shirt. Yo amo tu pullover. No such thing as racism. No tal cosa como racismo.
This is on our merch. Isn't that right, James? Is it in our store? Amazing.
Asombro. So
have you always known that there were no such thing as racism?
I started hearing about racism when this regime of thugs, este régimen de maleantes, started running our amazing White House, nuestra asombroso Casa Blanca. And
So let me just ask, before you heard that word racism, right? Were you aware that there was no such thing as racism?
There is no such thing as racism.
Have you always known that?
Absolutely. I mean,
and
I didn't start. Go ahead.
Have you ever believed that? So when you start hearing it more and more from the blacks and others, did you ever believe that?
I don't believe that. Not one bit.
That was racism?
Absolutely not. The only people that are racism every time they come on TV and promote racism is the regime of thugs. Joe Biden, Obama, and all these thugs. That's all they say. But yet again, they say the white guy Hope is racist, and I kill every single one of them by saying, show me one video of him being racist. The only thing they come up with is, did you hear what he says, when he was running for the first campaign? Did you hear what he says about the illegal immigrants that they're... Absolutely, I agree with him. Yeah. They don't see all the crimes that they're committing because it doesn't fit the agenda for CNN, MSNBC, all these fake news.
And how are you treated when you say there's no such thing as racism? How do your friends and family members react to you?
It's something common. Everyone agrees because first and foremost, if I'm the only white in the entire class, all the way to 5th grade, si soy el único blanco en la clase entera, desde nursery y toda mi vida.
Are you speaking English and Spanish?
My mom, my dad, I've never heard them say anything about black.
Hold on a minute. Is he speaking English and Spanish? I'm missing it.
Yeah, because I am an interpreter.
You're an interpreter?
Yeah, for Spanish. Hola, hello.
But you're saying bad words in Spanish, I'm told.
No. I'm not saying. I have not said one bad word. I don't say bad words. Period.
Oh, okay. Well, you're right, Mario. There is no such thing as racism. It has never been. It will never be, and impossible to be. Our battle is a spiritual battle. It's a warfare between good and evil, right versus wrong. And we need more people like you out there saying that and stop going along with the lie so that others might hear it and their mind can be renewed as well, because they're trying to control the people by lying and saying that there's such thing as racism.
There is no such thing as racism.
Right.
It doesn't exist. It's common here in Miami. That doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Right on, man.
My best friends are all black since I was born, and they come to my house and my mom cooks for them and everything. That's another thing. My mom and my dad, I've never heard them say anything about, this black person. No, they never heard them say the black word.
Yeah. Amazing.
It doesn't exist, Jesse. That's incredible. And then another thing, white supremacy. They say white supremacy this, white supremacy. Where is it? Where is it? What is that?
Yeah.
How come I've never seen it?
Yeah. Well, that's because the blacks believe, not all, but most believe that white people are superior to them. And so that's why they call the white man supremacist, because they worship him. They believe that white people are superior to them.
So how about when Thug Joe Biden comes and says, and all the black people, like, wow, how more racist the so-called racist can you get with this when you say, if you don't vote for me, you're not black enough. What is that?
I know. What a mess.
Are you serious? It's telling you in your face in a place where it's all, like, really? It's a joke. And then again, the black people don't catch on. Like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What is that, man?
They need to wake up.
That's sad.
But Mario, thank you for I appreciate your call, buddy. Call me again.
I will. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless the crew.
Right on, man. Thank you so much.
All righty.
And keep saying that loud out there. No such thing as racism. Jerry from Missouri. Jerry, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, what's going on?
All is well, sir.
Hey, I just wanted to call and thank you for, pretty much for what you do. I've been watching, excuse me, got a frog in the throat. I've been listening to you for a while, and I really enjoy your content. It's fun, it's entertaining, and informative. And your message of forgiveness, it was really big for me in my life. So
right on.
My mom recently passed away. What was it? A couple weeks before December.
She did.
And yeah, she did. And I went back to Oregon, and I didn't make it in order to see her before she died. She died of cancer. But I got there and went and viewed the body and all that stuff, and I really didn't have any emotions about it.
Right on.
I cried. Like I called her up and forgave her. I had to do it via FaceTime because she's over there.
Right.
So I did that. That was rough. Whew.
What was rough about it?
Oh, it was rough because I still saw Mom as God.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I was, shaking in my boots and all that. My voice was all broken, but I did it. I got it out there, and I tell you what, my life has just been going up and up and up, being made better every single day. It's amazing.
Amazing. And how did she react to your forgiving her?
She was stunned. But she was stunned, but she also, you could tell that she knew she screwed up.
Yeah.
But she's a hard-headed woman, very masculine. She was very domineering growing up, and my dad was he had to take kind of a subservient role in the house.
He was beta.
Yeah. Beta.
Beta man.
But he still instilled some good values in us, and I have a very good relationship with my father.
Nice.
Which I'm very happy for. Yeah.
Right on.
I forgave him, but I was a little more easy on him just because I've never had a bad relationship with him.
Right
I've never
on.
hated him.
Yeah.
So, but long story short, I forgave her. She knew she screwed up, and actually the one thing that made me really call her up and say that was that she said she got a promotion at work and she got a bunch of money, and she said she was going to give my brother and I some. And I'm 38, and it's like, that's insulting to me. Like, you keep your money,
Yeah.
Don't give a grown man some money and give him the opportunity to be a slave to someone else. So
nice.
I said, keep your money, spend it on you, go get a massage or something. And I told her it was disrespectful, and that actually stunned her more than anything. It was amazing that she didn't think about that. But she never believed that I forgave her. She thought that it would matter, but that's her choice.
That's right. It's not. That's on her and nothing to do with you.
Yeah, I can't affect her emotions. I can't. Neither do I want to.
Yeah.
Lord, who wants to dive into that pond of acid?
Amazing, man. Are you doing the silent prayer?
I am silently praying, but I'm not doing it the same way your video does. And
why don't you give it a try? Do what you're doing, but give it a try and see what you think.
I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to stick with it, and then I'm going to see if things get even better.
And they will, because what's going to happen is the light of now that you're forgiven, the light is taking over you, and it's going to bring you out of the darkness of your imagination. The imagination, all thoughts, which are the imagination, are all lies all the time about anything. And you're going to find yourself, if you stay with it, no longer believing them or a part of them, and you will have a clear mind. And then really, 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 you're going to know God. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, yeah. And if you're surprised, like, that just spreads like wildfire to every other part of my life. Like, I'll be driving on the highways, and someone will cut me off, and I normally get mad and curse up a storm, but now I look at them like, whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
I always ask myself a question whenever something comes up or someone tries to throw some vitriol my way. I'm like, am I supposed to be mad at this? And the question itself, if you try answering it, it all sounds silly.
Yes. There is never, ever, ever, I don't care what happens, There's never a reason to be angry. Zero.
No, it doesn't do anything good ever. And I think people, especially Christians, they tend to conflate determination with anger.
Yes.
And that's a false conflation.
What a mess.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, did you win the Coon Award this year?
I was waiting to see. I haven't heard yet. Do you know who won the Coon Award?
I was rooting for you.
I don't know.
I don't even know if they had it this year. I haven't heard anything about it.
That's a shame.
I know I won the Coon Award.
I've often wished that I was black because I'm a white guy in a black neighborhood. And I wish that I was black so I could coon right along with you.
Well, we're gonna check into it to see who won. If they had it, I don't even know if they had it this year or last year. But if they did, I'll let you know.
All right. Oh, and one more thing, and I'll make it quick. I've been kind of getting into the red pill kind of manosphere stuff. I mean, it's a hodgepodge, so make of that what you will. I saw one of your videos, and you were kind of going in on MGTOW a little bit. And MGTOW is one of those kind of like a punching bag, kind of like incels are. And I think it's misunderstood and misrepresented. I'm not going to try to defend it because I'm not a good defender of it, but I do believe it does need to be represented right. And because it's excuse me, it's a bunch of men that are trying to better themselves and trying not to be used by the system. And I think combined with your message, I think that it could really, really help them out. And go
ahead.
I'd really like to see a creator called Hammerhand come on your fallen state. That'd be amazing.
I've had them on my show before, and I do understand, but what I want men to understand is that they are the light of the world and the salt of the earth, and they are supposed to overcome because women need men to be the light of the world so that they can see their way out of the hell that they're in. And so if they were to put seeking the kingdom of God first before anything or anyone, they wouldn't have to go their own way in the way that they're trying to do it. Though I understand what they're trying to do, they wouldn't have to do it if they were to do what you've done, go and forgive their mothers, return to their fathers, put the truth, put what's right first. Then they can overcome the world, and they won't be used by women or anyone in the world. They will be able to see what's going on, and they won't be taken by the woman anymore. That'll stop. But women need men in the way that men need God. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you mean specifically by need them? Need them to be betrothed or attached, or need them just to be strong?
They need them to be the truth. They need them to be a perfect love. They need them to point them out of the hell that they are living in.
Okay, so it could be just a man representing himself well publicly.
Yeah, period. Absolutely. Whether publicly or private.
All right, I don't see any difference between that and the pure message of MGTOW that creator like Hammerhand puts out.
Well, we'll try to get him back on the show again so that we can see what's going on with him. Thank you, man. Nope. I appreciate it. I got to take a break. Call me again, though, all right? Amazing call.
All right. Love you, Jesse.
You too, buddy.
Cool,
thank you. Thank you so much. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. We'll have MGTOW on again. I've had him on before. Back in a moment. Amazing! Check out my book, For Race to Responsibility. I show you how I was able to overcome anger. The spirit of anger was taken away from me. I had it. And as a result of having anger, I was insecure. I had doubt, worry, fear. I was in a fallen state and didn't know it. And it wasn't until I went and forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father. I forgave my father for not being there and returned back to him. My spirit connected with his spirit, and through him, I was able to return to God. And I have perfect peace. Perfect love casts out anger. And when anger is gone, fear and doubt, worry, insecurity, suicidal thoughts, all of that is gone. And you are free. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or if you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website at rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. It's Female Monday. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. at the top of this hour. The HakeReport.com from 9 to 11. The HakeReport.com. And at 11 a.m., Joel Friday TV. He black. Joel Friday TV. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby. At 12 noon, high on energy given to him by God. You don't want to miss it. All right, don't forget to support us. Go to rebuildingtheman.com. As you are being helped, help us to help others. And I appreciate it. Amazing. I want to, before I go back to the Super Chats and phone, I have this amazing thing I want to show you real fast. And I mentioned this on Sunday during the fellowship. I've said over and over again that the human heart is evil. All human beings are evil until their hearts are changed from anger to love. And love is not a feeling. You don't feel love. The feeling of love is hate. And the feeling of hate is hate, right? But there's a real love that comes from above, and he changes the heart. And even God said, trust not an angry person. Do not trust an angry person, because an angry person is evil. Is evil. And so no matter who it is, your family members, it doesn't matter. Husband, wife, your children, once they're angry, you can't trust them. And so there's this thing that happened in my country. It's been going on for 70 years or so, where white Americans have been falsely accused of everything that's bad, quote unquote. So-called racism, systemic racism, Jim Crow, all kind of stuff, right? And the whites, they've been accused of black people failing in life, and the blacks can't make it because of racism and all lies. And the whites have not spoken up. They have not said, no, that's not true. That's all they have to say. That's not true, but they have not said it. And then I remember 30-something years ago when I first started out, I was like, why don't the white people just say no, speak up? And I remember there was these so-called leaders, black leaders. They were saying, we need a discussion about racism. But they've always wanted a one-sided discussion. They've always wanted white people to say they were wrong and the blacks were right. They never wanted to hear both sides. And so whites have not spoken up. And then they had the knockout games when the blacks were knocking out the whites in the streets and stuff. And then the blacks start going into stores and just openly robbing them in groups. They were running to those stores, the black kids in the stores, and just rob the stores openly. I'm like, whites, look what's happening. And they're like, no, we feel guilty. What are you guilty of? You haven't done anything. You're not guilty of anything. But they wouldn't speak up. And then they started teaching the white children that they are racist, that they're no good simply because they're white, that they hate the blacks. And then that happened. Then they start cutting off the white children's body parts, right? And replace them with the wrong part. And then they took the white men out of the military and out of air traffic control and out of the businesses, just everywhere, and replaced them with the blacks. And things got worse. And they just keep getting worse. And the black man won't speak up. He won't say no. And now, because the white man won't speak up, he won't say no, and because he has not protected his family, they are now attacking the white women. You have evil so-called women of color, people of color, black men and women of color, attacking white women. They are making white women admit to something that they're not guilty of. And it's pure evil. I want to play something. I want you to watch the evil in the faces of these so-called women of color that's supposed to be running this dinner meeting or something like that. This is from movie makers. Talk about happy wife, happy life. What the? This is what happy wife, happy life leads to. This is from Movie Maker. I really want you to watch the thrill of these women of color faces doing what they're doing. This is from Race2Dinner, a business in which white women pay to have dinner with Regina Jackson and Sarah Rao, who offer blunt talk about race. Watch this from 9 News.
What is the desired outcome? They go back into their communities and their social circles and do what?
Talk. Stop the nonsense. I want to add, because I think we missed Indigenous and Black people are on the bottom. Okay. Talk. Talk to your husbands. Satan. You know, these men that are creating the violence out there, these are their husbands, their sons, their brothers, their grandfathers, their uncles.
That's the devil.
So talk to those people. Talk to other white women. You know, open up your mouth, call a thing, and quit pretending like you don't see the violence and the nonsense. Stop pretending. You know, just because you pretend you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah, and look, white men are at the top of the food chain, right? Stop propping up whiteness. Join gender, intersectional solidarity, and we can overthrow all of it.
Look at the devil.
White women's feelings matter more than Black and brown and Indigenous pain and violence. So when white women cry, out the door. Take that somewhere else.
And the white women listen to that. And the white women listen to that because their husbands have not protected them from evil. It's going to get worse. that black female and that whatever else that other female was, those women are evil. Why would you subject yourself to that? They're not talking about the black on black violence. They're not talking about black on white violence. They're not talking about how they have destroyed the man's children. Here's another example of what these so-called genders look like. This is from Movie Maker. Deconstructing Karen, a new documentary about Race2Dinner. Watch this from Movie Maker.
Actually, Margaret, you didn't say yours.
What?
Your racist thing that you've done.
Thought about or done.
You must have examples in your own life.
Well, I also work in environmental engineering. I have absolutely no people of color, or minimal people of color, possibly the exclusion being slightly Hispanic.
Saira doesn't like her attitudes.
I can say a racist thing you've done because it just happened. When you just talked to me the way you just did. This is how white women talk to us all the time. These are microaggressions. The way you just spoke to me was straight up white supremacy.
Sounding terribly white. I don't know that I was all that racist to start with, but I also would be more aware or hyper aware of my thoughts or reactions to circumstances that would be racist.
I do think every white person in the United States is racist. You can be a really good person and still be racist.
No, you can't, you stupid woman. Can you believe that? Where are their husbands to help them through they're talking to the devils. White people used to be smart and brave. Here's more. I just don't know what to do with this. How can they sit? Is there something in the food? How do they sit there and convince a group of white women that they're racist? Look how you talk to me. Who you think you are? Mr. Big Stuff? Here's more from Race2Dinner. This is from Race2Dinner. Watch this.
So I want a show of hands of everyone at this table who is racist.
Oh my God. For me, race has never really been a thing.
I've always thought of myself as being like kind of woke.
I'm blinded to color. Like it doesn't faze me at all. When we bleed red.
Because he was a white male, he was a victim of reverse racism.
I understand you have issues with a skin color, but I don't believe that's our future.
Let me ask you a question. How many of you would trade places with a black person in this society? Raise your hand.
I wouldn't either. Who want to play with the blacks? What the? They're living in hell in their own imagination, begging and whining and blaming. Who want to live like that? White people, I remember white people wear those beautiful white suits with the white hat. They were brave. What happened? How do you let a couple of evil so-called women of color get you over a dinner that you paid for, according to the report, and make you admit to something you're not guilty of? You don't even think about race. They're the one thinking about it. You know what? It's only going to get worse. But it doesn't have to be worse in your world. You are your world. If you take control of your world, all that hell that'll be going on outside of you in somebody else's world will not affect you. These white women should be ashamed to let those two dumb, evil, so-called women of color manipulate them in that way. And you think, I want to know if you think this is any different than to dinner, race to dinner. Watch this female citizen free press. Is this any different? Nikki Haley complains about growing up in American South. Watch this from NBC.
We were the only Indian family in our small southern town. I was teased every day for being brown.
Anybody believe that?
So anyone that wants to question it can go back and look at what I've said on how hard it was to grow up in the deep South
and she
as a
wanted
brown
to be the
girl.
president.
Anybody can look at the fact that when we had 9 amazing souls die in Mother Emanuel Church, I did something that no Republican or Democrat ever wanted to touch, which was call for the Confederate flag to come down because it would take 2/3 of the House and Senate and was an impossible feat. The hardships, the pain that come with racism. It's the reason that I fight bullies every day when it comes to racism, anti-Semitism, or hate, and I always will. We're not a racist country, Brian. We've never been a racist country.
So are we? Now she said we've never been a racist, but yes, she said she'll fight racism because she went through that and growing up in the South. But then she said we're not a racist. She's talking out of both sides of her mouth. Human beings are evil. Nikki Haley is not fit to be president of this great nation. Nikki Haley is a rhino. And plus, females were not created to lead. They were created to follow. Amazing, huh? Nikki Haley is a rhino. Either the South, either America is racist or it's not. She's running for president, all of a sudden it's not. She took down a Confederate flag like she was supposed to do that. Came into the blacks.
What the?
What the? Let me see what the Great White Hope has to say today. I rest my case. I rest my case. Super chat. Super
chats. Gregatron bought a coffee. Jesse, Larry Elder was amazing on The Fallen State.
Check it out. He was on the last Friday episode, thefallenstate.tv. Check it out.
You really let that man talk. He talked 90% of the whole episode. It was the Larry Elder Show Report TV. Amazing.
Like Natty going north. Thank you.
Not a Victim bought a coffee, and I didn't finish his coffee. Do you have any tips for being honest with oneself? It's the last thing I want to do. I just want to be great and be what my dad was. There are 2 types of people in this world, honest and pushover.
You don't want to be what your dad was or anyone. You want to be you. So just see the anger, watch the thoughts, and the light will take away your abnormal nature and replace it with your normal nature, which is of God. Not your nature, but his. The abnormal nature is of the devil. So don't want to be like anyone. You want to overcome, identify with anyone, no matter who it is. Thank you.
Carla Hausa is now a member, a monthly supporter on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk.
Thank you, Carla. I appreciate that.
Carla says, thank you for your amazing teachings and for taking me to the next level with God. I look forward to the amazing life he has rolled out for me. No more anger and no more thoughts. Amazing.
Right on. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
Hassan's dog bought a coffee. Call it Mama Monday.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Canadian David.
Joel said if that woman is brown, he's green. Referring to Nikki Haley.
They might have lightened her up on the TV picture. They do that to Obama.
Amazing.
Hassan's dog bought a coffee. Call it, oh yeah, I already said Mama Monday. Call it Mama Monday. Thank you, Hassan's dog.
Hassan's dog.
Canadian David, subscriber on Rumble.
You gotta know how to rumble.
Manly Mondays, Timothy Tuesdays, and Western Wednesdays. But maybe it's an ode to Madonna. Just another manic Monday.
Just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday.
I don't think that's Madonna. I think that's the Bangles. Everything's not Madonna, Canadian David.
Just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday.
Whoa. Honda bought 17 coffees.
Thank you.
What ties me to my parents? Nothing. Thanks to JLP, I have inherited a new family in Christ, and it is amazing. Hashtag block ya mama.
Amazing. She was responding to the biblical question.
Hondo.
What ties you to your parents?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a she or he.
I always assumed it was a he.
Okay, what ties you to your parents? Thank you.
And he says nothing.
Right on.
New family in Christ.
Nice.
Woozy says with a Rumble rant, oh, Steve Harvey has kids all right. And just guess what he had first. Twin daughters. Enough said.
No wonder happy wife, happy life. What the?
WD41 donated Ninja Genie on DLive. Has Jesse tried chatting with AI like ChatGPT?
I never met them.
Okay.
Thank you. I have it. I don't know who that is.
Eli the Exception bought a coffee. Good morning, Mr. P. You got to check out the movie trailer if you haven't seen it. And he shares a movie trailer. I'll pass that along, right Eli the Exception.
Thank you. I'll check it out. I'll let you know.
Commander Kim donated a couple on Odyssey, odyssee.com/@Jesse Lee Peterson.
You ought to see.
In regards to church yesterday, which was amazing, I hope I'm invited to one of those Race2Dinners, like we just saw in the clips there. When the black and brown ladies asked who's racist, I'm going to throw up both my hands and confess I'm not racist enough. Smoke racist enough. Smoke on that.
That would be amazing. Those dinner would end. Thank you.
Commander Kim also says, with another super chat, in regards to church yesterday and because it's Women Monday, Jesse, what is your opinion on the Bible story about the prophet God allegedly told to go chase down his slut wife? Because the Bible's been rewritten, I disagreed with my Bible thumper women cousins, and they said I was going against the Bible.
That was asked yesterday in the fellowship. I gotta look into that. I don't know.
Hosea and Gomer.
Thank you.
Pablo bought 3 coffees.
And it's Female Monday.
Right, not Women Monday.
Not Women Monday, Female Monday. What the?
What the?
Pablo bought 3 coffees. Consistent! ! Thank you, Pablo.
Thank you.
Hannes O'Callahan, 3 coffees. Jesse, I'm growing and facing the storm. I recently realized that I'm crazy. There's no difference between the spirit in me and a typical crazy drug-taking homeless man I've seen, grinding his teeth with crazy eyes in downtown Los Angeles. I can see that crazy spirit in me now. Recently, I finally let go of the craziness that wanted a career, an opportunity to move into a new career as a bouncer with a big wage increase. Showed itself to me. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, crew.
Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. I think I can make it now, the rain is gone. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Amazing. Remember that song?
Yeah, I like that song.
Me too.
So Callis bought a Cash App saying, what is a practical want, if such thing?
Food, a house, car, stuff you have to use to function on this earth. Practical things like that.
Chalice donated a couple of Cash Apps saying thanks.
Thank you.
John donated support on Cash App. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jen C bought 5 coffees. White Line NYC, thanks for answering my question. Okay, I'm done passing notes in class, Hake. Blessing the JLP universe.
Thank you. Amazing.
Mike Young bought a coffee. This one's not very pithy, Mikey. Mike Young, I mean. Hey, Jesse, this is my message for the caller, Roy. And, of course, this is not personal, just a fact. It's sad most black males act like their mothers and don't even know it.
Amazing.
Hope Roy is listening because he and many other black males are very weak, very angry. starts in the home with the parents, and it's quite obvious he has very weak parents, very sad.
Such a sad way to live. Thank you, Mike.
I'll have to read the rest of your super chats later, I think.
Monday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Thank you. We'll finish those the first thing in the morning if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. The Hake Report is coming up now. The HakeReport.com. And at 11 a.m., Joel Friday TV. Joel Friday TV. And at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. Get on that street and narrow, folks, and stay there if you want to be free. But if not, stay in your hell. All hearts, all angry people, hearts are evil. Don't trust them. They're evil. If they got anger, just know you're dealing with evil. All right? You can overcome it. Sean, a first-time call out of Illinois. Somebody just dropped. Steven out of Maryland. Cora out of Michigan. And Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. I am so out of time, but the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. I'll be back tomorrow, Country and Western Tuesday. Amazing Female Monday. Isn't that amazing that those white women subjecting themselves to dinner things with two evil other women?
Psycho.
Two evil other females.
Making fools of themselves.
Black woman and some so-called brown woman tell you didn't talk to me right, so you racist.
Where are their husbands?
I'm telling you. Come on, man.
I'm shaking my head.
Like nothing going no.
Terrible.
Awful.
I have no words
to say. All right, folks. Take care of the Hake Report. Get on the street and narrow. Stay there. Have a good one. Bye. So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax.